Galacticos, welcome again to this live broadcast. We're going to analyze Real Madrid's match, which is beat the Cultural Deportiva Leonesa 6-1. It was a goal shorter than the last time. We won 7-1 there in León. We won 6-1 at the Bernabeu. A very pleasant game. There's not much football to analyze. There's not much tactics that we can really talk about or go into. I'm going to talk about a few players. And then I'm going to mention a few of the substitutions that I know that because I talked to him on the phone, that Zidane made, thinking of course, about the Clásico. We'll talk about that. We'll see what you guys have to ask with Mateo in the social corner and everything. So let's go with a few things. Well, 6-1, very pleasant game. It was a game that I saw Real Madrid kind of trying different things in different parts, especially in the first half. For example, those last 10 minutes, Zidane sent the people up and to pressure up high and kind of exercise those pressure moves to see how they work. Evidently, against La Cultural, they worked very well. When Real Madrid got to doing what they wanted to do, taking the ball from the Cultural Deportiva Leonesa, it lasted maybe like 2 or 3 seconds on their feet. And that was pleasant to see. It was nice to see a small team with the excitement of playing at the Bernabeu. I gotta say, the goal by Cultural Leonesa, this guy Yeray González, beautiful goal, probably the best goal of the match. And it's something definitely he will remember for the rest of his life. The brilliant shot from outside the box, right next to the corner. Kiko could have done a little bit more, but it was a great goal. And it's kind of good news, 6-1, but the best goal of the game at least. That's one kind of strange award that the Cultural Deportiva Leonesa are taking back to León. So I like that. What else did I like? The pitch invader. Normally we don't see this anymore because, realization, the production on TV, they kind of eliminate that from the broadcast. But today we had the chance to see this guy. We didn't see much more. But we see a guy running in the middle of the pitch and doing the C of Cristiano. I laughed very hard, I have to say. That was very funny. And that's probably the only things that I can, take from the game. Let's talk about Mariano. I think Mariano played a beautiful game. You could see in Mariano's eyes, in his attitude, that he really wanted this game. He was taking this game probably, the most seriously or in the most serious way possible for him. This is, again, like a window for him to show himself that he can, maybe not compete against Morata and Benzema, but definitely maybe compete against other strikers in a starting position in another team. Opening a loan possibility, whatever. So I like Mariano. He scored 3 goals. We said this in the preview. One of the few things that had me excited about this game was to see if Mariano and his goal-scoring hunger could have any reward today, and they did. So that was beautiful. Also Casemiro. Let's talk about Casemiro. Good thing to see Casemiro back in action after 72 days. I remember when he fell injured, we were all thinking, it's maybe going to be something between 4 and 6 weeks. It ended up being almost 2.5 months. That's a lot of time. We have needed Casemiro. We haven't really missed Casemiro. We've been winning, we've been struggling in some parts, but the thing is, I was very happy to see Casemiro, but I don't think he's ready to play in the Clásico. Definitely he's not going to start. I don't think that's in Zidane's plans or in anybody's plan. But maybe, giving Casemiro some minutes if the game required it. I think the only chance where we could see Casemiro in the Clásico is if we're winning the game and, in the last 10 or 15 minutes we need a little bit of fresh legs and maybe a little bit of muscle to control that midfield. But that's the only situation where I see Casemiro playing in the Clásico, to be honest. And then the subs. Talking about the Clásico and thinking about the Clásico, I like that. Isco, I think Isco played 50% today. We saw Isco kind of, stepping on the gas in a few moments, and it was really shocking to see the world of difference in physique, speed, talent that differentiates Isco and, some of the players from the Cultural Deportiva Leonesa that were trying to mark him, who couldn't. But Isco got 45 minutes, just maybe, to get some rhythm, to not, let's say, rest for the whole week, knowing that Isco will play on Saturday. And then he was substituted by Zidane. For Zidane. By Zidane. So we saw Enzo Zidane scoring his first goal as a Madridista in the Bernabeu. That was probably a very special moment for the Zidane family. which is a whole thing because Enzo Zidane has Enzo on the jersey, and his official name now is Enzo Fernandez because maybe they don't want to throw the burden on him of being called Zidane. But anyway, so Enzo scored a beautiful goal. That's good news. And then Carvajal also played 45 minutes. Again, I think for the same reason, just to have a little bit of action, a little bit of rhythm, to be fresh on Saturday because Carvajal is going to play for sure. And then he came out for Varane. And Zidane sent Nacho to the left, sent Tejero to the right, and then Varane came in. Probably we're going to see Ramos and Varane in the Clásico. So again, for the same reason, to see Varane with some minutes, get a little bit of dynamic on his legs before the Saturday's game, and that's pretty much it. And well, now we're going to go to you guys and see what you're thinking. What are your expectations for the Clásico? It's only 3 days away. So yeah, I'm gonna send a message. I know there's a guy from a Barcelona channel. So I have this. Barcelona, we're coming to get ya! We're coming to get ya! Let's go with Mateo in the social corner.
Hey guys, what's up? So first of all, let's start with a bunch of shout outs to Naif Hamed, Alejandro Sanchez, he doesn't know what's going on, he doesn't understand. Yusef Yako, Emil Helmberg, Edgar Helmeri, Darko Titan, Trigger Happy Plus, of course. And let's get the questions in. So we have a pretty good question from Naif Ahmed. How did you like Enzo Zidane today? How did you like his goal? And what do you think about the young talents we have, especially the way Odegaard played today? So he basically wants you to just elaborate a little bit on the performance of these youngsters.
So a big shout out for all you guys. Trigger Happy, my friend. I know you're always very excited to talk about the academy. I think we saw today that Real Madrid are doing good work with the academy. They're taking it seriously from all the categories up. And I think my favorite player from the academy today would be Odegaard. I think Odegaard showed today that he's maybe a little bit ahead of the rest of the people who are not in the first team. He has that spark, that talent, the quality, and he played with a lot of personality today. He showed himself a lot. He created a lot of spaces. He was always looking for an open space to ask for the ball. And I really like that. And I think he has a lot of talent, a lot of attitude. And I don't think, if we keep him and, at some point we don't decide to sell him or loan him for a couple years, if we keep him, I think we will be seeing some of Odegaard in the first team in not a very long time. I like Tejero as well. I think he had the big responsibility to be in the starter in the defense and play the 90 minutes. He played one half on the right, one half on the left, and I think he was pretty decent. He made some, let's say, mistakes, maybe due to being a little nervous, because, of course, Isco wasn't nervous and Casemiro wasn't nervous, but players who don't play, like Mariano or Tejero, they were. But I think Tejero played a good game. And then Mariano, of course, Mariano, who is not really an academy player anymore. He's in the first team. And then Zidane, I think Zidane showed that he has some talent, some of the manners of his dad. But I think it is going to be a burden for Enzo to kind of expect people to not compare him to Zidane, which could be a double-edged thing. It's a good thing if you're playing similarly, or it could be a very heavy burden for him if he's not very good. I think he left some details, but to be honest, I'm not very enamored with Enzo Zidane yet. He's young, so we'll have to just wait and see what happens with Enzo Zidane.
Okay, next question from Ibrahim Hoke. So this is kind of evoking the ghost of 2014-2015 with Ancelotti. Do you think Real Madrid will do what they did in 2014-2015 season, where they had that 22 consecutive win streak until January when everything went wrong? I don't even want to think about that. But that's a pretty good question, and it's relevant to now. Thanks, Ibrahim.
So, it could be a good parallelism. Let's say analyze this Real Madrid that I would say that Real Madrid, Ancelotti's Real Madrid, the one that you're talking about, those first 6 months, were definitely more brilliant footballistically. They were better. We remember the journalism and the press talking about, is this the best Real Madrid ever? And then, as you said, the mid-season, something happened, everything went to waste. You asked me, do you think Real Madrid are going to do the same thing? I don't think it's something you can consciously decide to do, so I don't think we're going to do it. Do I think it's going to happen? I hope not. And to be honest with you, I think some of the basis of this team, some of the things that, the foundations of why we're not losing are very solid, and I don't see them just I don't see them just disappearing out of the blue and Real Madrid kind of starting to lose and drop points like crazy from January on. I really don't think that's going to happen, and I don't expect that to happen. So I don't know. I hope Ibrahim Oke, my friend, I answer your question.
All right, next question. This is a pretty good question from Yusuf Yako. He's asking, why doesn't Mariano play? Or do you think that Mariano should play in big matches too, not just these kind of, kind of small Copa del Rey or whatever matches?
It's a good question. I think Mariano has some of the tools needed to maybe make a few minutes or take advantage of some minutes in specific points of some games. But the fact is today we saw Mariano score 3 goals and all, but we can't forget that the level, let's say the universe in which this other team moves, is a completely different universe of talent, of demanding physically and, basically talent-wise. So it looked like Mariano would be ready. Today definitely looked like Mariano would be ready to play in First Division. But we can't forget who we were playing against. So I think Mariano has the tools to maybe interact a little bit more, and especially if Benzema falls injured, and we know it's nothing weird. And then now that Morata is injured, maybe Mariano could interact. But I don't think this game should be taken as an example of what Mariano could do against First Division teams at all. I really don't think.
Also, we have some more questions from a bunch of you guys asking, Vitaly, who was your man of the match today?
My man of the match was Mariano. If you score 3 goals in a game, very, very rarely you won't be the man of the match. But I would say Odegaard. I like Odegaard a lot in the midfield. I expected a little bit more from Asensio and James and Isco, our first line players. But you could tell that, they were not playing 100%. In some points they tried to. And we could see, the talent they have. But I would say that, Mariano and Odegaard, for sure.
Okay, so we're close to the 12-minute mark. We're actually we hit the 12-minute mark right now. We're going to wrap it up. So we're going to start sending some shout-outs. Tyler Simon, you got here late, buddy. Sorry, man. Well, you can rewatch this at any time. Black 7 Gamer Diaz, LAT Games, Trigger Happy Plus, Walid Rechim, Ali Tommy, Eowyn Deely,
LT Games, Eowyn Deely, Trigger Happy, all our friends. Guys, thank you for being there. As always, it's always a pleasure talking Real Madrid with you guys. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We're gonna bring you the previews for the Clásico and start heating it up, for a big game on Saturday. So we'll see you tomorrow.